Greetings and welcome to the Healthy Sales Chick Show. I am Nancy White, the host of this show, and here we love to talk about a healthy mind, our body, and our spirit. And every single day, we need to nurture every three, or one of those areas are going to start letting us know about it. And I have a question to ask you. Are your cells happy and healthy from head to toe? Maybe they just need a little refreshing makeover. But as my dear friend and founder of Win Win Women TV, Paula Fellingham, always says, we welcome you with open arms and open hearts. I love having amazing guests on this show, and tonight we have got this amazing, beautiful woman that I have known for a while, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. She's known by her friends, and I'm one of her friends, as Coach Zetta. And she has been so instrumental in helping so many lives, even children and women. And we've got some wonderful topics we're going to be talking about tonight. But I am so grateful that you're here, Coach Zetta. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Nancy.
Oh, well, for years I have always said you either move it or lose it. And I told myself that, and I keep telling myself, even at 71, you move it or you lose it. But again, Coach Zetta is the founder of Better Bodies for Us. And we're going to discuss fitness. Yes, fitness is a good word, treating our bodies as the temple. And also hormonal exercise prescription for women in midlife. I'm not sure which life I'm in, but I'm always looking to
Oh
learn
my
more new things.
gosh. Wait.
But and we're also going to touch on what to do if cortisol elevation is your problem. But anyways, Coach Zetta loves designing exercise programs for women 40 and up, also teaching group fitness classes and encouraging women to move more and eat better. It's always a choice and a tiny bit of information because I could go on and on and on, but we want to really hear from her about this joy filled lady. Coach Zetta is a high energy licensed physical education teacher, certified personal trainer, team lead, and author with over 20 years. I know she doesn't look at 20, but that's what you get when you take care of yourself. 20 years of experience in the health and wellness field. And after working in public schools for 6 years, she realized that the only way she could really create an environment where women and children could have fun while exercising in a structured manner was to design her own large scale fitness program. And she took a leap of faith. She stepped out and she launched Better Bodies for Us. And Better Bodies for Us is a health and wellness firm that was established in 2007. Oh my goodness, a couple of decades. And they are headquartered in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we were talking before because we're both from Charlotte and it is registered. She has so many different things that she does virtually, but also in person too. But her love for encouraging children to move motivated to write her first book, B3 Goes to the Playground, in 2018. She again loves helping and using her gifts and talents and teaching others. But we are going to, I could keep going on and on and on and on, but I just have to tell you if you want her bio and everything, you're going to have to go to her website. And we're going to tell you how to do that later. But I love asking this question, Coach Zetta. What was it that led you to this current profession?
I say hands down, God directed me here. He chose me. Like I can't take the credit. My background is in business education and IT, but I had a season in my life where I competed in figure competitions. And it was one of those moments in which people began to ask me what was I doing to change my body. And I knew that I had to figure out a way to help as many women and children as I possibly could in this health and wellness space. So God asked, and I said yes. And I've been asking and saying yes for 22 years now for Him to use me to make a difference in the lives of many women. Now
Don't
I'm
you
calling them fabulous women, 40 and
fabulous?
beyond.
And don't you and going back, don't you love obedience is better than sacrifice? When God
Oh,
tells us to do something, we're going your way or no way, Lord.
absolutely. Yes.
Oh, I admire you so much and am so grateful for you allowing God to lead you into this amazing profession. So, teach, fitness is, treating our bodies as the temple of God. And I'll tell people too, we're just taking care of these temporary temples until we get our permanent maintenance free one. But it's more important that it's fireproof. So, tell us more about the fitness, Coach Zetta. Tell us because, even if we, and you know this even better than I do to share, if we exercise just 30 minutes 5 times a week, we can increase our longevity by 5 years. And I'll say, what would you have missed if you hadn't been here for the last 5 years? So tell us how important fitness is, really.
I want to move into treating our bodies as God's temple in that regards with fitness. And I want to launch by reading a passage of two scriptures in First Corinthians chapter 6 verses 19 and 20, and it says, "Do you not know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have from God, and you are not your own? For you were bought at a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's." Now, according to that passage of scripture, God teaches us that our bodies are temples that belong to Him. Now, I want each of us to ask ourselves if we're treating our body with reverence or are we taking it for granted? And that's when we talk about the fitness pieces. Like there are four suggestions that I have for us tonight to help us to treat our bodies as God's temple. Number one, choosing food that's good for us. That includes lean meats. We want to make sure that we're eating less processed foods, more green leafy vegetables. And sometimes we're going to have processed, not because we necessarily want it, but we might not be in the place to make our shake or mix up those green leafy veggies. But in those moments, I want to highly suggest that we avoid enriched flour, high fructose corn syrup, and even those partially hydrogenated oils. Those are secretly trans fats. Now, God, He doesn't encourage or suggest us to treat our bodies as His temple. He commands that we do that. And I think it is so very important that we start doing that today, right? So I have four suggestions for us. Like I said, the first one, choosing to put good foods in our body. Number two, exercising regularly. Like some people think fitness just includes movement, but it's choices that we make and actually being able to practice self discipline. When I say exercise regularly, you want to make sure that you have an approval by your doctor. Per an author that's unknown to me, they quoted an exercise program that starts slow and builds over time is far better than an exercise program that starts and ends quickly. So January is coming. Resolutions are going to be made. But we in this audience, fabulous women, are not going to be those ones who start something quickly and it ends quickly. Nope, we're going to think about where it is we are and the actual outcome that we so desire in treating our bodies as God's temple. And we're going to do something about it. We're going to move. Drinking water. Now, our body is made up of 60% of water, and water is essential for proper circulation of the nutrients throughout our body. Now, some people have been told over the years that they should eat or drink 64 ounces of water per day. And I went with that for a little bit. Like I said, I've been in the fitness industry for 22 years, and it used to be, yeah, drink 64 ounces of water. Yeah, go for the 8. But then I began to look around and I realized that we all look different. We're all shaped differently. Some are tall, some are short, some are wide, some are thin. And that equation just didn't make sense to me. So I did a little digging and I found something that sits better with me. Drink half of our body weight in ounces of water. So, for instance, I will put myself on the spot, Nancy, and say, I weigh 157 pounds. Ooh, that girl's moving up. So that means I need to drink 78.5 ounces of water daily. So I want my fabulous women in the audience tonight to weigh yourself if you're not quite sure how much you weigh. And I want you to divide that number by 2. And I want you to shoot for that. Now, if you're not currently drinking water, if you're not getting minimal amounts of water within a day, then I would not suggest that you get on the scale and you decide, oh my gosh, I need to drink 80 ounces of water or whatever it may be. You want to gradually build up to that, because if not,
You're going to be in the
Nancy,
bathroom the whole time.
I was about to say they're going to be wetting their pants. So
I know.
make sure it is a
It is.
gradual.
And can I
It
give
is.
you can I give another tip too? I love it. I
Yes.
feel like you're my precious baby sister. Another thing you can do for women that are constipated or men, you can put a pinch of sea salt in your water. And what it does, it opens your cells and hydrates them, that your body hold on to it, but it helps with constipation. And so that's just a tip. If women are constipated, just put a tiny pinch of sea salt in your water each day.
Can we do that, fabulous women? Let's get that waste out of our bodies. So drink that water and add some of that sea salt. The
Mhm.
last thing that we can do in order to treat our bodies as God's temple is get sleep.
Mhm.
Getting enough quality sleep at the right time can actually help protect our physical health. And I don't know how many of us work and work and work, and I mean, I'm not saying that deadlines aren't important and that we are not supposed to do everything with the spirit of excellence. But when we neglect the sleep, then we put ourselves in harm's way. Unfortunately, sleep deficiency actually puts us at risk for heart disease, for kidney disease, for high blood pressure, obesity, diabetes, and stroke. And also for fabulous women, I'm talking about us that are 40 and up and we're transitioning into menopause and beyond, it causes our cortisol to be imbalanced. And those imbalances of our cortisol can lead to cravings and blood sugar instability, which means cortisol and insulin are going at it. And when they are going at it, it causes us to store fat around the belly. So,
Yep.
what are we going to do to treat our bodies as God's temple? We're going to choose foods that are better for us. We're going to make sure that we exercise regularly. We're going to drink our water, and we're going to get enough sleep. And it's important that we consistently treat our bodies with honor and respect
And,
over an extended period of time to reap benefits. What you got for me, Nancy?
and Coach Zetta, I just love the things that you're sharing too, because I was talking to a naturopath today. She and I were just chewing things back and forth like we're doing too. And we were talking about those cortisol levels, and our sleep is our recovery time. It is our healing time. And, and you and I both know that stress is associated with 6 top killers also. But finding those natural ways, and again, exercising is huge to help your body to go through its cycle that it needs to go through. But yes, and I read a statistic years ago. It said that probably 80% of people are walking around sleep deprived, and the brain level is the same as if they were drunk.
Mm.
So, but anyways, but thank you so much for sharing those 4 things, and we're going to reiterate some of those things too. But how important it is, and don't we take it for granted? We
Yes.
do. We take it for granted. And then we go through and we get into those habits, habitual habits. And if we want change, you have to make a change. That's just that simple. If you want change, you have to change. So when you talked about hormonal exercise, also is a great prescription for women in midlife. When women start going through that midlife time, they're sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, did I sign up for this circus?" It's like, what are things that you are thinking and have discovered? And I cannot wait to share with them too about some things that you're going to be doing coming up soon with some certifications you've just got. But the hormonal exercise prescription for women. What kind of
So,
prescription?
so probably what we're beginning to realize, a lot of us, is what we did in our 20s and our 30s. Staying up all night, having ice cream. We love to go for a walk. We love to put our little I think about my aunt. I'm not going to call her name, but she'll put her little thing on her shirt, and she keeps up with her steps. Now, we love to go out and do these long durations of walks, walks, walks. But the things that worked for us in the past, they're not working for us anymore. And the reason is because we're now dealing with hormonal imbalances. Now, because we're entering to menopause and beyond, our hormones are just all over the place. Like one of the major hormones that's that's the biggest issue, cortisol. That's our stress hormone. And if our stress hormone is up because we don't get enough sleep, again, that's going to cause cravings for snacking. If we are actually already stressed with our cortisol levels up, we want to lose weight. So we increase the amount of movement that we're doing. And it may be that we're taking a HIIT class at the gym at 5:30 and we're doing it 5 days out of the week. We're going running 5 miles every day because we've decided that we want to change. It's usually that belly fat or the back of our arms that we're dealing with those issues there. And unfortunately, like we have to come up with modes of exercise that work with our hormonal imbalances as opposed to against it. So at this point in our lives, we have to have custom made programs for us. We need to do less long duration workouts. Like it doesn't click in our head as fabulous women we want to do. And it's just like my mind is made up 2024. I'm dropping these 20 pounds. I'm going to the gym 9 times a week. And it's just like, oh my gosh, how are you going to do all that? Well, unfortunately, those long durations with those workouts, it's decreasing our testosterone. And decreased testosterone is killing our sex drive. Fabulous women, just because we fabulous doesn't mean that we want our sex drive to tank. No, we want some help. And also, it decreases our growth hormone, which actually increases body fat around our waist. It increases our fatigue and it causes us to have less lean body mass, which all of those things are the things that you don't want that to happen. So we need to do less long duration workouts. We need to do less reps. Less reps means that women, we're going to have to be okay with picking up weights that are heavy. It's like lifting light weights for high reps, it may increase the risk of overuse injury. So if we're dealing with some tendonitis or whatever else, then we won't be able to weight lift at all. If we're lifting very light weights for, reps beyond 25 and 30, it's not going to be effective for enhancing our metabolism. Like we want our body working for us and not against us. So strength training with moderately heavy weights can actually stimulate the release of hormones such as our growth hormones and testosterones, the same one that I said, are tanked if we're doing long durations of workouts. So it also actually can improve our mood, our energy levels, and our overall well being. So we need to do less long duration workouts, less reps. But on the flip side of that, we need to do more heavy weight lifting instead of high reps, like I said before. Now, with those short heavy weight training sessions, as well as those short HIIT sessions, it causes our cortisol levels to elevate when they're supposed to, but they fall at the appropriate time, which is what we want cortisol doing for us. And also with our HIIT training, some people are just like, I don't like the sweat. You already telling me I need to stop all this walking. Now you're telling me I need to incorporate some HIIT training. What is HIIT? Well, HIIT is high intensity interval training. Now, my Aunt Linda, I see her in the audience today, and she puts her hand on the Bible to say that our our low intensity class, has actually become HIIT, but it really isn't. But HIIT is one of those things in which you do it for a short period of time. We only need to be doing 15 minutes to 22 minutes per session because we only want to do a max of 45 minutes per week. So when I talked about us actually doing HIIT late in the evening, not a good idea because HIIT late in the evening is going to cause our cortisol levels to be elevated when they should be coming down later in the day. We need to do more proper fueling. eating. We don't want to overeat, but we want to make sure that we're getting at least 30 grams plus of protein at each meal. We grab for those bagels and that cream cheese for breakfast. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Oh,
Fabulous
I
women.
know.
Look, when we break our fast, meaning we've slept through the night, that first meal of the day needs to be a protein packed meal. Now, I have been a personal trainer for 22 years, but recently certified as a menopause fitness specialist. And I've learned that the carbohydrates that I used to tell my clients that we need to cut out at like 3 o'clock, we need a slow releasing carb at dinner, such as a sweet potato or brown white rice or quinoa to help us sleep. So
Yeah.
again, this prescription that we're speaking about requires us to have proper fueling. It requires us to actually work out for shorter periods of time and to lift heavier weights and to
I am
stop all that long
so glad.
duration of everything.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're confirming everything that I have been doing. It's and I would love to share with you too about something that I came across. It's called Forever Strong. It's a book, and I love. I'm a lifelong learner too, Coach Zetta, and it's by Dr. Gabriel Lyon. But one of the things she says, start out with protein, end with protein. And you and I both know about protein pacing, how important that is. And you can figure out how much protein you need, just I've got a dear friend that she's also 71, but she looks like she looks like she's had a makeover, but she hadn't. But she's been in health and wellness for decades too. And she
Okay.
has 100 grams of protein a day. And she just does the pacing and divides it up. But starting out with protein and ending with protein and then protein pacing. And women, don't you feel have a challenge with protein?
I even have a challenge with protein because I don't eat meat. I
Me.
am a pescatarian, so I find it difficult. We struggle because
Well,
it's easier to grab a
sometime I'll give
carb.
you some tips. Sometimes I'll give you some tips on some things of protein that are really great high protein and low carbs. And so, but again, what you're talking about, the slow release carbs, when you need to have it, you need it for your brain. You need those good, healthy carbs for your brain. I loved it when I learned that our brain makes its own cholesterol that's completely different from any other cholesterol in our body. It's incredible what a miracle these temples are. So, anyways, so when you were talking about cortisol levels, and the doctor that I was talking with today also, she was talking about a natural supplement that helps with cortisol levels, and you have to make sure that if you want to sleep through the night, that you have to take something potentially at that time. If you want to have your cortisol levels like you're talking about be regulated during the daytime, you take it at that time. So I am so grateful. I cannot wait to hear more about the things that you've got coming up too. I knew our time was going to fly by. And you know what? I would love for us to, come back together again too for this next exciting episode. But tell us some other great tips and some things too, Coach Zetta, that you really hear from women a lot of times that I'm not going to say they're complaining, they're concerned. They don't know. What are some of those major things that, you can't Google everything, but we could Google you.
Oh my God. I hear a lot of women talking about low energy, even more lately. Waking up tired, midday tired, wanting to use coffee or caffeine to get through the day. And they're admitting that they're on their phones or working late. And I believe that we seriously need to do a digital detox about an hour prior to going to bed so that we can just begin to relax. We need those serotonin levels to be right on point. Also, belly fat, and women talk about the fact that they don't want the back of their arms waving when they're not. And it's just, you know, I know that we've been trained or taught to do things over and over. And it's sad to say that a lot of the research that's out there regarding women and fitness and weight gain is minimal. Like a lot of the studies that have been used to dictate what we should be doing were on men. About 39% of studies out there are geared towards women. So,
Wow. That is so low. So I have a question um because I can Google you right here. So when you when you talked about weights, you know, and I love different weights and different things. And I think I shared with you, I'd worked out with Arnold Schwarzenegger 50 years ago when he came to Charlotte to help a gym owner open up. But anyways, what are the weight limits and things that you would suggest for women to use?
like, we cannot dictate the amount of weight as a trainer, as a coach, without working with a client through a progression. So, like for someone who's trying to determine, what's the right weight, what's the proper weight. Like, we don't want to start our program out at lifting 6 reps. 6 reps is a low number, so that means that your weight would be really heavy. You are able to determine how much you lift by your struggle. So let's say that for this month, you've decided that 15 reps is your goal. That's your amount that you want to get to. You know that you have the correct weight if when you get to number 12, you're just like, "Oh my gosh, I'm struggling." You're shaking. And
Okay.
you the
Now,
last reps are
are
really.
you talking about like 3, 4, 5, 6 pound dumbbells? What are you talking
Well,
about?
see, the thing is, it could be that there's an individual who hasn't done any weightlifting at all. The 3 pounds to them could feel like lead at number 12. But
Hmm.
for somebody like myself, I've been lifting weights for 20 years.
Hmm.
So therefore, I'm curling 20 pounds. And, when I get to it, it doesn't matter per se the exact weight. But you know that it's too light if when you get to 15, you still feel like you can keep going in whatever capacity that you're doing. If you're just like, oh man, you stop at 15 because you've made up your mind that for today I'm doing 15 reps. But if you don't struggle with the last 2 to 3 reps, then you need a heavier weight. And a suggestion for those who are just finding it hard to find dumbbells, or you're just like, oh my gosh, they cost almost like the more than a tank of gas. You can take your threes and double it up. So like your 3 pound, you put 3 pounds in one hand and you just do a single arm. That becomes 6 pounds. But you always think in terms of last 3 reps are struggle. And if the weight that you're using is not a struggle, it's too light.
Thank you so much. I just wrote that down. So, so I
You're
cannot wait
welcome,
till tomorrow.
Nancy.
I can't wait till tomorrow to use my weights and work out. So, okay, Coach Zetta. So tell everyone how they can get in touch with you. What is the easiest way to connect with you?
The easiest way is seriously my Facebook personal page, Charles Zetta Smith Ford. You can DM me there or email csmith at betterbodiesforus.com. Those are the places that I check more regularly.
Okay, but you got to spell it. It's Better Bodies number
The
4.
number 4, us. Yes, C Smith at betterbodies, the number 4us.com. And Nancy, I would like to give away a parting gift today, if that's okay.
We would
For
love you. Mhm.
for my listeners today, those that are here, those that are listening, on the streaming places, I want to invite you to take one of my strength training classes. Like I create programs that teach women how to lift weights. And I am inviting you to take my strength training class next Thursday, which is December what is it, Nancy? You got your calendar right there.
Oh, let me pull it up.
December
But
the
but you know what? If somebody's listening in the future too, can they always just come on a Thursday if you're doing it always on a Thursday?
They just email me. That's what I'm going to
They
need you
can.
to do. In order
That's
to get your free pass, you
mhm.
must email me at csmith at better, better, bodies, bodies, the number 4us.com. Email me. I will email you the free pass and you'll get to come on in and see how we rock and roll over here at
Oh,
6 a.m. And also, if you're unavailable at 6 a.m. and if you're like, going, well, I'm not getting up that early, It's okay. I record every single class. And for
Hallelujah.
the person that emails me, what I will do is I will email you the actual link for the class so that you can actually enjoy that. And someone shows up next Thursday, have an extra grand prize. The people that actually email me, one of those people is going to get access to the class for the rest of the month of December. Do you want to be that grand prize winner? You better email me.
You're so cute. I love it. And thank you so much for your generosity. Well, we're going to come to a close, but I promise we're going to have Coach Zetta back again in 2024. But in the meantime, check out some of the other Win Win Women TV shows. We have about 200 show hosts with great information and suggestions and inspiration. And come back and see me, Nancy, the healthy sales chick. And if you want to have a time just to talk, go to my website, thehealthysaleschick.com, and set up a time. And we're going to talk all about you and we're going to celebrate all the good things that you're doing. And I promise, with 40 years of knowledge and of experience, there'll be some things I can share with you that you would love just to incorporate because we love new fun things to do to stay healthy. So, again, until the next time, stay healthy, stay well, and be blessed.